The corpse of a cow in the slaughterhouse suddenly moved. After a few convulsions, an alien emerged from the carcass. What is this about? Let's review the third installment of the Alien series in this issue. The plot follows that of the previous one, in which Ripley fights the alien queen on planet 426, wearing a mech, and eventually, the queen is thrown out of the spaceship. The entire Marine team is left with only Ripley and the little girl Newt. Ellis, a severely wounded Marine, and Bishop, a cyborg, were torn into two pieces by the alien queen. On the way back to the ship, they did not know that the queen had already laid her eggs on the boat. The alien's blood corrupts the cryogenic chamber. A fire breaks out, and the bug grabs a man's head in a deadly grip. The ship's systems activated the escape mechanism, and the escape pod separated from the mothership and crashed on Fiona 161. This planet is the highest social network prison for male prisoners who have committed the most heinous crimes. Since Planet 161 is located at the galaxy's edge, they have the only way to escape from mining and smelting metals all day. A doctor wandering on the beach found a dying Ripley and rushed to bring her back to the base. The warden felt this was a serious accident the first time to contact headquarters to report the situation, but it takes a week for the rescue team to arrive here, so the warden organizes the inmates to start resuscitation. Ripley finally woke up under the care of doctors, while the other three in the escape pod were not so lucky. The safety bracket killed Ellis. Biochemical Bishop fell into pieces. The most unfortunate is only 10-year-old Newt, before Ripley but desperate for her life, which will save her from the pile of aliens. The results drowned in the cryogenic chamber. Hearing this news, Ripley was grief-stricken. When she went to check the wreckage of the escape pod, she found a hole formed by corrosion. If the insects burrowed in here and gave birth to an alien in the girl's body, the consequences would be unthinkable. The doctor did not understand why she insisted on opening the girl's chest cavity, but the doctor performed the operation at Ripley's repeated requests and found nothing. On the other side of the slaughterhouse, two inmates were busy carrying a dead cow when one of them found a dead bug. No one knew that a catastrophe was coming, while everyone held funerals for the victims at the furnace. In a prison where there are only men, looking at this woman, she is not destined to be peaceful. Although Ripley shaved her hair and dressed like a man, but the scent of a woman in her body still keeps attracting the eyes of men, especially the prisoners, who had not seen a woman for more than a decade. A bunch of eyes like the hungry lion all want to pounce on Ripley to eat dry instantly. At night, with the cover of night, the men no longer had to disguise themselves. They were divided and began to make their move on Ripley. At this point, fortunately, with the faith of Leiluin still saving the bottom line, the critical moment to save Ripley, the alien burst out of the dead cow and disappeared instantly. Anyone ever seen an alien knows how fast these creatures can grow. A prisoner was busy cleaning the exhaust ducts as usual when he happened to step on a slimy mess. He picked it up and saw that it was the pale skin of a small alien, and a large hole had appeared in the duct for no reason. Curious, he stuck his head into the hole, and it happened to be where the alien was hiding. The corrosive liquid sprayed on his face, and the intense pain made him lose focus. Tragically swept into the fan and instantly turned into mush. The doctor arrived soon after the accident. The scene in a pile of broken flesh and corroded traces made him suspicious. The doctor realized that it might not be as simple as an accident, and that Ripley must be deliberately concealing something. To figure out why, Ripley comes to the dump to find the mutilation of the cyborg Bishop. Ripley calls him to activate from his memory to learn the truth about the ship's crash. It turns out that the company knows everything that happened on the ship, and the ship's artificial intelligence sends information back to headquarters. To put it bluntly, the company wanted to bring back the aliens for secret research at all costs. In the following days, the murders continued to happen. An atmosphere of panic spreads through the prison. A prisoner with a bloodied face was the only one who had seen the alien. According to him, the creature was a dragon that killed people on sight. This prisoner was mentally unstable and was a murderer. The warden and the others did not believe such a ridiculous statement and even suspected that he was the one who killed the two inmates. Ripley said that this crazy guy was telling the truth, but the warden still did not care, and specifically instructed the doctor to keep a good eye on Ripley, to prevent her from spreading rumors everywhere. Just as the doctor was giving her an injection, the alien suddenly appeared, and before he could react, he was licked to death by the alien's tongue. The space was so small that Ripley had nowhere to go but to huddle in a corner in despair and wait for death to come. But the next action of the alien was unexpected. He slowly approached Ripley, sniffed her body, and quickly left through the skylight. Ripley didn't have time to think about why the alien acted this way. She had to inform the others about the doctor's murder, but the warden in the cafeteria was still denying the alien's presence until it reappeared. All the prisoners are stunned by the bloody scene, the warden is killed, and Ripley is unanimously recommended as commander because of her experience fighting the aliens. But now the problem is, in this prison, except for a few kitchen knives in the slaughterhouse, there are no decent weapons. Fortunately, there is a warehouse for nuclear waste, the walls of which are made of solid steel more than 6 feet thick. If we can find a way to bring in the aliens hiding in the ventilation ducts, we can solve the problem. Ripley studied the prison structure and had the inmates paint the ventilation ducts so that the aliens could be forced into the warehouse by lighting them on fire. While everyone was working feverishly, the aliens were not idle. One prisoner was suddenly attacked, and the ignition device in his mouth fell, causing an explosion. The fire instantly spread in the passage, and several people were mercilessly engulfed in flames. The plan was about to fail when the aliens began to hunt and kill. A prisoner was unfortunately targeted. He knew he would not escape, so he used himself as bait to bring the aliens into the warehouse. Ripley and Dylan took the opportunity to close the door, only to hear a few screams from behind the door. But the story doesn't end there. They heard that the alien was trapped in the warehouse where the nuclear waste was stored. The not-so-smart prisoner had to see it. The guards decisively refused his request, but unexpectedly he killed the guards and opened the warehouse door. The result is predictable. The alien will not be grateful to him for regaining his freedom and will immediately send him to his death. And at this time, Ripley suddenly felt ill. After scanning the hibernation chamber equipment, she found that her body also had an alien, and the queen of the alien was a hatchling. This is why the alien did not hurt Ripley. Just one alien has already caused chaos on planet 161. If the queen is born, the whole universe will face a catastrophe. Ripley told Dylan about her alien parasite, hoping that Dylan would kill her. Dylan understood that since the alien would not attack Ripley, it would be better to take advantage of the alien's weakness to get rid of it and then send Ripley away cleanly. So Dylan gathered all the survivors, prepared to bring the alien into the mold and scald it to death with hot lead water. In the process of implementing the plan, sacrifice is naturally inevitable. The inmates scrambled to use themselves as bait, and the alien's space was compressed step by step. Finally, they lured the alien into the trap. Dylan let Ripley climb to the high place and put himself in the mold with his flesh and blood to drag the alien. The super hot lead water tilted from above, instantly drowning Dylan and the alien. The boiling lead water was still bubbling, and Ripley thought it was finally over. But then something shocking happened. The alien didn't die but suddenly jumped out of the hot lead water and rushed toward Ripley. The surviving prisoners reminded her that the alien was very hot. Ripley immediately opened the cold water valve, and much water fell from the sky. In the huge temperature difference between hot and cold, the alien can no longer withstand the howl of pain. The body instantly explodes into countless pieces, and the alien is finally killed. Gotcha! At this time, the company's so-called rescue team has arrived. A man identical to Bishop appeared. He said he was not a cyborg and Bishop was created by his own hands. The company sent him here not for rescue purposes but to bring back the alien queen that Ripley's body had bred to achieve their ulterior motives, which would be the catastrophe of all humanity and the universe. For the safety of all humanity, Ripley did not want to repeat the tragedy. She resolutely jumped into the melting pot and died with the alien queen. They took the last prisoner away, and prison 161 was closed for good. But the company's evil plan didn't end there. The story of Ripley and the alien doesn't end there either. Please subscribe to follow my channel. In the next issue, we will review the 4th installment of Alien.